What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? My family tradition is to get together with my dad's side of the family on Christmas Eve for dinner. We would make deep-fried shrimp and pork loin for the main course, with my grandma making her own cocktail sauce. We would cook like 8 pounds of shrimp and it would be all gone. Unfortunately, we aren't getting together this year. Plus there won't be any more special cocktail sauce since my grandma passed this year, luckily before all this COVID stuff happened. I get blackout drunk and accidentally staple all of the Christmas gifts to the brown paper bag that I put them in. We would drive from my mom's parents to my dad's parents on Christmas Day, so we would always have Christmas lunch at an Arby's inside a Love's truck stop in some little Louisiana town. We have dessert nachos on Christmas morning. Sushi for Christmas dinner every year because we always traveled on Christmas Day for cheaper flights and Asian restaurants are the only ones open. Nothing like reading this and realizing your family is really boring. My husband and I have this tiny 6-inch Christmas tree. Every year we've been together, 5 years, I make a full-sized ornament for him and place it on the tiny tree. It's already almost full smile. My mom's father was Swedish and he married a California girl in the 50s, Morfa and Morma, respectively. It was important to my Morma that she help her children preserve their Swedish heritage during the Christmas season, but she didn't know a lick of Swedish, God bless her. My Morfa used to get the family to join hands and go skipping and dancing throughout the house singing a Swedish Yuletide song. He passed away in 1992, just as my cousins and I were all born/toddlers. My Morma continued the tradition, but she never learned the song, and neither did Mom or her siblings. So that's how we got the tradition of skipping and dancing through the house chanting Yuleleolien over and over. Also, we fill our homes with trolls/tomten for Christmas. Every year my wife and I buy an ornament for our tree that corresponds with something that happened that year. So we have a tree filled with all of these weird wacky ornaments like a tennis ball. We started playing tennis that year, Swedish chef, Europe trip, ship captain Nutcracker, our first cruise, amongst many others. It's such a fun tradition in December to debate what we to get and then finding something. And then reliving them all when we put them up. As a shift work, blended family, kids went to their other parent during Christmas break. We would open presents and celebrate at the beginning of Christmas break so they could have their gifts for a week before leaving to spend time with the other half. We still just choose a random day that we can all be together and celebrate. This year it was December 12th. Smile. My girlfriend and I are starting a tradition this year by filling our stockings with that person's perfect movie night. Their favorite candy, comfy socks, hot chocolate, etc., all topped off with a movie stuffed in there. It's not exactly a tradition yet since we haven't really done it, but we're planning on doing it every year, and I think it's a spectacular idea that other people should do too. Don't buy presents, you'd be surprised how much quieter Christmas dinner with the family is when you ain't got assholes complaining about what they got because it's not what they wanted. So about 10 years ago I stopped buying altogether. I don't even send Christmas cards or texts. My mom loves to give us pajamas for on Christmas Eve. We all hang out in our new pajamas and take tequila shots. Very sad I can't do that with her and all my siblings this year. None. We have fairly recent tradition of not wrapping presents. Sometimes it involves a chair cause we don't have a tree, but all the gifts end up in a big pile. Then we have the great opening of the Amazons. Not everything comes from there, but all boxes are named Amazon on December 25th. And we each just randomly open one after, and try to figure out who it belongs to. Rinse and repeat. It's always a bit of chaos, and occasionally spectacular misunderstanding. And lots of fun. Smile. We tip my grandma over in her chair, carefully. We couldn't do it last year because she moved her chair to be against the wall, and we can't do it this year because of COVID. But regardless, it is our tradition, alongside svansenka, no idea how to spell it, which is just Polish sausage, pierogi, and rye bread and butter. Very fun. Every Christmas Eve we are all given a single present from either our spouse or our parent, our Christmas pajamas. We wear them on Christmas Eve, and when we wake up for presents, everyone looks festive. We have signs all over our house spelling out Leon instead of Noel. It started out as a joke because my dad is dyslexic, but it stuck, and we even named our dog Leon, and we've been doing it since I can remember. We always open one present the night before Christmas. Every Christmas Eve we get a Chinese takeaway and watch Love Actually. Christmas morning we go for a dog walk and have Bucks Fizz on the beach. Pickle ornament in the Christmas tree. Person who finds it gets to pass out presents. On Christmas Eve we get new pajamas. We always look at Christmas lights after Christmas Eve service, and we watch The Christmas Story. When my brother and stepbrothers were teenagers or uni-aged, my blended family had a tradition of going roadie bashing on Boxing Day. None of us had much money to buy presents, so our gifts to my dad were a morning of labor helping him to renovate a pond in a local park, on his daily walk. This involved dragging rubbish out of the stagnant pond, and hacking and sawing down the invasive rhododendron bushes which made the pH toxic to virtually all life and blocked the light. He still plants native trees up there, but has moved much more into litter picking now. It was so great to do something with real purpose over the Christmas break, and burn off the excess we'd been eating too. You felt like you'd really earned your treats later. Growing up in the Southern Hemisphere, Upside Down Christmas was celebrated in midwinter, so that we could enjoy all the winter traditions, December being summer. Now in the Northern Hemisphere, I introduced this to my partner and his family last year, and summer Christmas in July has already become a new tradition. We watch Die Haselnuss für Raschenbrödel every year. It is a German fairy tale movie. The title roughly translates to 3 hazelnuts for Cinderella. By now, we know this movie by heart, but we still find some new, tiny details every time we watch it. We decorate our Christmas tree on Christmas Eve and we open presents on Christmas Eve. We have brunch on the 26th. And we have potato pancakes for dinner on the 24th. Watch Christmas with the Joker from Batman, the animated series. My family usually just says Merry Christmas to each other in the morning and we move on with our day like any other day. Red and green Jello shots. This is something we constantly get called weird for, but ham and mango. Don't knock it till you try it, but ham on a plate with mango on the same plate tastes good for Christmas lunch. We have to redeem our Christmas presents by performing something. Like a poem, sing a song, play the guitar, have a dance-off etc. After a nice dinner and a few drinks. It's always very entertaining and funny. We can't do it this year, but usually we go to Mass on Christmas Eve and go out for food after. One year it was McDonald's, and then for the past 2 years it's been Cheesecake Factory. So much fun, honestly. Pickle in the tree. We get a new tree topper angel every year. We now have well over 20 and the mantle is full, and we need to find a way to display all the previous years. Always danced with my daughter on Christmas Eve to the Christmas Wish by the Irish Rovers. It was tough on me every other Christmas Eve when my ex-wife had the kids. Then she grew out of it. But now that she is pregnant she wants to dance again this year. Looking forward to that. Last year my wife and I and another couple got stoned and went to midnight mass. That was fun. As a kid I used to always play Red Faction 2 from start to whenever I fell asleep on Christmas Eve night. Now I just go out drinking. Whole bunch of different kind of Christmas cookies. Every year my family has a tradition of wrapping gifts in a really difficult to open way. Here are some of the best stories. My cousin's husband gave her a colander. First it was put in a box and wrapped up in normal wrapping paper. But then that box was wrapped in a bunch more layers, eventually ending with a wooden box about the size of a refrigerator chained shut and padlocked. I don't know how she finally got to her colander because the only tools allowed to open gifts are those provided by the gift giver. When my aunt gave my brother $50. It was spread out between 200 envelopes in one giant box full of packing peanuts. Some envelopes had $1, some had change, some were empty, some had written notes. One cousin was given a metal tin sealed shot with super glue. It was filled to the brim with honey, and a gift certificate in a Ziploc bag had sunken to the bottom of the honey. The last one I can think of was when 11 cents was put in a tiny Play-Doh jar sealed with mechanics glue and frozen at the bottom of a 5-gallon bucket of ice. The gift giver gave the recipient a tiny eyeglass screwdriver and the instructions that she couldn't use hot water and couldn't break the bucket. But, every year gifts tend to include lots of weird layers like aluminium foil, duct tape. The trick is to use lots of tiny overlapping pieces so you can't just pull one end and continually unwrap. Boxes, wrapping paper, rubber bands, ribbon, string, twine, and sometimes ending in a very innocent looking gift bag with tissue paper.